What is up guys, and welcome to my latest video here on MPC Vids, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to take a drum break and extract individual one-shot sounds so that you can reprogram your own drum loops and get full flexibility over what you're doing on the drum side of your beat. So this is a really common hip-hop technique, and the MPC Live II actually makes it surprisingly easy thanks to one setting in the chopping area, and I'll talk you through exactly how to use it. So the first thing that I obviously need to do is to get a break. So I'm going to go to my browse area, shift and menu here, and I've got my breaks here, and I'm going to use this break 1. This is a really famous break. I can't remember the track that it's off, but you'll hear this one a lot. So we'll load that in, and in terms of sample assign, we don't actually need to assign it to anything because we're going to chop it up first, so we don't need to do anything there. But just to note before we leave this area, this is the sample pool, and we'll see more samples in this area a little later. So the next thing we need to do is go to sample edit. Now we've loaded in that break, so we'll go to shift and mute. This takes us to our break, and you can actually see at the end that in this particular folder of breaks that I've got, the one-shots are provided at the end, but we're just going to ignore that for this video, and I'm going to go ahead and chop this down. We'll take to about there, and we'll just process that and discard it. You don't need to do that, but I'm just doing that for the sake of this video to make it a bit tidier. Okay, so we've got our break, we've got it loaded into the sample editor. Now what we need to do is click down on the bottom left here. You can see it says trim at the moment. We're going to click there, and you can see now that this changes to chop. So this is how we're going to get the individual sounds out of this waveform. We're going to go ahead and use a second item across here called threshold. Now this is so useful and so powerful. So we'll click threshold, and you can see what's happened here is the MPC software has detected all the areas where it thinks it can hear a sound and basically done all the hard work for us. So we can go to the pads now. You can see the pads have become highlighted because it's made 16 different chops, and we can listen to those. We can hear there that the MPC has done an incredible job of finding those one-shots in those breaks, and now all we have to do really is a little bit of tweaking, and then we can extract the ones that we want and add them to our own program. So it's definitely a good idea to go through and check all these, in particular this first one. I can actually see that the start point is off, so I'm going to use Q-Link to go to the start point, and what this means then is that we can use these dials down the side to make adjustments. So I'm going to zoom in, and you can see the start point is quite far off there. These dials are various sensitivities, so depending on how little or how much you want to move these markers. The bottom one is for really tiny adjustments and working your way up to big adjustments. So let's use the second dial here. That's a good amount, so we can get right tight on the start of that. That sounds good. There's quite a lot of hi-hat on that sample, so we might need to try and find an isolated kick which doesn't have a hi-hat on the top of it. Start of that's a bit ropey, so we can adjust that. There we go, that's a lot cleaner. There's the snare. We've got one hat and another one. That's quite nice that we've got two different hats there. That kick sounds like it's got a little less hi-hat on it, but still some in there. That one's got no hi-hat on it, so that could be really useful. It's quite short, but it's got no hi-hat, so we'd definitely want to use that one. Then it's just pretty much more of the same. So I'm happy there. We've got some selections, and we're going to be able to extract those and have some really nice sounding drums. So now what we can either do is get all of those sounds and put them on the pads and make a new program, or we can extract just the sounds that we want. And I'm going to go ahead and do that because it's a little bit tidier. It takes a little bit more time, but it's pretty straightforward. If you wanted to export all of these sounds, you go to shift and convert, and you create a new drum program, and it'll do all the work for you. I'm going to extract the individual sounds. For this, you go to shift and process, and then if we scroll across, you can see we've got extract. So we'll go ahead and start processing these sounds. So the first one we're going to get is this snare. I really like that, so shift and process. We'll extract that and we'll call it snare. There we go, and that's done. I like this hat. We'll do that, and then there's another hat. I like that one as well, so we'll process that one too, and we'll call that hat 2. And then we need that kick with no hat on the top of it. That one's got a hat, this one's got a hat, this one doesn't. So we'll go to shift process, call it kick. Okay, I'm happy with all those sounds that I've extracted there, so let's go ahead and go back to browse, which is shift menu again. And you can see here now in the sample pool, which I mentioned earlier, we have all those sounds that we extracted. So when you extract the sound from a longer waveform like that, it will put it in your sample pool here. So now we can go ahead and drag these where we want them. And go back to main. Okay, those hats are sounding really loud, so we're going to go to mix, and we'll press mix again, and we'll reduce those hats a little bit because they sound ridiculous. We'll go to the next level as well. That's sounding a lot better. Okay, so let's go to main, and we've got this set up here with 82, that's fine. We'll change it to 2 bars just for the video, it will make things quicker. I'm going to record a pattern. I'm only going to do it on 1 track because it's just easier for the video. If you want to do all these on individual tracks, that's absolutely fine. So first of all, I'll do the hi-hats. I'll do record and play. So you could hear there, I'm able to use both those hi-hats to create a really nice sound. 2 different sounds alternating, and now we can overdub the kick and snare. So I just put those marker kicks in, and now what I'm going to do is turn off the quantize and put in the rest of the kicks for that loop as well. And let's turn off that metronome. And there we go, we've taken a break, we've extracted all the individual sounds that we wanted. We used the sample pool to put them on the pads, and then we've used the sequencer to sequence in our own completely custom loop, which we can use for a beat. We could go in and add individual effects on those if we wanted to. We could trap those out individually as well, but this is just for the sake of the video to show you guys. I'm sure you're all able to do that. So we've got the flavor of the drums from that break, but we've programmed it in our own unique way, and that sounds really, really cool. We can layer samples over the top of that and continue to build our beat. So I hope this was useful, guys. It really is a cornerstone of making hip hop, being able to do this, and threshold in the chopping area here just makes it so useful. You just choose that and then make some alterations and you're pretty much good to go. So thanks for watching. I hope this video was useful. If it was, please hit a thumbs up, and if you're new around here, subscribe, because I'm going to be sharing loads of tips on the MPC, including this one and other legacy devices as well. Apart from that, guys, keep making beats, and I'll be back with another video very, very soon.